My Guy. One November the 5th in the 1990s, when I was 7, my family took me to a local fireworks display. This was in a suburb of Dudley, a town near Birmingham. A local scrap dealer would have a bonfire and set off a load of rockets, Roman candles and Catherine wheels. He sold cheap tickets to residents on our estate, and a takeaway owner he knew would sell hot dogs, jacket potatoes and mulled wine for the grown-ups. The scrapyard was on a ridge looking out towards the town centre of Dudley and Birmingham beyond it, so all the fireworks from there could be seen too. It was a great spot and a really fun time, especially for us kids. You can't beat the wonder of Bonfire Night when you're a child, a bit like Christmas. For me though, I would not see it in quite the same way again. The scrap dealer worked through his pyrotechnics, working up to the finale of big rockets. The crowd oohed and ahed with every explosion or fizzle of sparks. I stood there, flanked by my parents and sister, munching on a hot dog as my wide eyes drank in the show. My parents, less impressed than us kids, knocked back the mulled wine. The steaming cups and everyone's breath was clouding in the chilled air, and in my nostrils was the acrid smell of burning wood from the huge bonfire. There is something primal about all this, isn't there? As a battery of Roman candles showered bright chemicals into the air, the guy was thrown onto the pyre to boisterous cheers. If you don't know, that's the tradition, or at least it used to be. Still continuing Stuart propaganda, we burn the would-be terrorist in effigy, just in case the night isn't primal enough. As the glorified scarecrow turned into a thin mesh of embers about to disintegrate, the scrap dealer moved on to the Catherine wheels. They shrieked like banshees as they spun on their wooden posts, and I recoiled, grabbing onto my older sister's arm for comfort. She gave me a withering look, but didn't push me away. No sooner had the Catherine wheels burned out than the concluding rocket salvos went up. The first airbursts were in red and champagne, vast fiery dandelions forming above our heads. We were so close the blast was almost simultaneous, deep and violent, one you could feel in your heart. The kids shrieked with delight. Some of the smaller ones started to cry. Initially, like everyone else, my eyes stayed skyward, but then something attracted my attention elsewhere. The flash and the slowly falling sparks illuminated something sitting against a tree, 100 feet away to my left. It was in a fenced-off safety area. Was it a man? Darkness returned as the dandelions dissolved, but straight away some more went up, in eerie blue and green. Another vast boom. There were more whoops, but I wasn't interested anymore. I saw the figure clearer now, and although it was quick, the impression has lasted to this day. We'd been learning about Tudors and Stuarts in school recently, and he was dressed like those folk. He had a slim tunic with shoulder pads and a big open frilly collar around the neck. Bulging sleeves from an undershirt puffed out on the arms. His trousers were also billowing outwards, tucked into tights that went up to his knees. One of those tall felt hats with a floppy brim was on his head. He had long dark hair and sported a stretched curly moustache with a little goatee beard. His eyes were strident and piercing, staring not at me but towards the bonfire. In darkness again he disappeared from view, only a silhouette. But then a third salvo exploded, in orange and silver, and what I saw I will probably never get over. There, where the man had sat, was a pile of nude body parts and organs. It was a corpse hacked into pieces, and the scene looked like a bomb had gone off in an abattoir. There were intestines hanging from a branch, and a thick pool of blood seeping into the grass below the macabre display. And in front of that was the man's head, sliced roughly at the neck. It lay on its side with the mouth agape, looking forlornly at the fire. Just to remind you, I was only 7 and this hit me for 6. Now it was me who cried out like the babies scared of the fireworks. Tears welled up in my eyes. I really grabbed onto my big sister now, with a vice-like grip on her arm that hurt her. She looked down in pain, about to give me a torrent of abuse, but when she saw the genuine fear in my eyes, she didn't. I looked at her so I wouldn't have to see the atrocity. Now came the last rockets, and despite myself, I turned back. There was nothing by the tree anymore, and with that, the night reclaimed the sky, save for the glow of the bonfire, which was ebbing now. Cheers followed the display's wake, fun and jubilance I could no longer share in. My sister drew closer, raised her head and bellowed in my ear against the din. "Matthew, what's up? What happened?" I couldn't speak, my breathing was too fast. All I could do was bury my face in her shoulder and let the tears soak into her puffer jacket. She told my parents that I was upset and wanted to go home now. Mum and Dad both tried to extract an explanation from me, but there was nothing doing. I just clammed up, and even if I could have told them, I don't know how they would have taken it. We left after, and once home, it was a hot chocolate to cheer me up. It didn't work. And then bed. Needless to say, I didn't sleep a wink. I left the nightlight on and hid under the covers so I wouldn't see anything else. The next day at school, we learned about the gunpowder plot. Our teacher told us that some of the conspirators fled London when the attack on Parliament failed, leaving Guy Fawkes in the lurch. They headed up into the Midlands, trying to seize arms and rally supporters in order to attempt a coup. After various stops and mishaps, the doomed rebels eventually holed up in a friend's manor house, where they were all shot dead in a bloody standoff. Soon afterwards, the other plotters, including the fuse man Fawkes, were given a traitor's death. They spared us kids the details, but as I came to understand later, this was hanging, evisceration, castration and dismemberment. Fawkes wasn't alive to suffer it, though, as when being hung he jumped from the gallows and broke his neck. But anyway, the mansion where the standoff happened was Holbech House. It is still there and is located in the modern-day borough of Dudley, just 10 minutes down the road from my childhood estate and that scrapyard. Did I really see the ghost of Guy or one of the other plotters? Why would he have chosen to show himself there or to me? Perhaps he does that sometimes, when a child sees his effigy burning, because it makes him angry. Maybe he blames the other conspirators for his grisly fate, so appears where they died. Perhaps there are other people who have encountered the same thing. Or maybe I was just an over-imaginative, over-stimulated kid who'd had a brain glitch. It's so long ago now, I don't think I will ever know the truth. But I do know I've never fully enjoyed Bonfire Night since. I'm never quite in the moment. When I take my own children to these displays now, I'm always glancing at the foreground when the rockets burst, wondering if my Guy will make an appearance.